Hello everybody, my name is Mr. Roberts and welcome to the New Orleans Pelicans MyLeague series here on NBA 2K20. Today we'll be introducing ourselves to the team in terms of who's on the roster, the lineup we'll be seeing for the first game against the Toronto Raptors, as well as the staff and the direction this team will be going. This will be a realistic MyLeague series, so you won't see me making trades for every single superstar, signing every single big name free agent, stuff like that. We're going to rebuild this team organically like you would see in real life, keeping the pieces, making the moves when necessary, and stuff like that. I am also using a slider set for this series. I will link that in the description. It's Schnate1's. I'm using his gameplay sliders as well as his MyLeague sliders to keep it realistic as possible. I based this series off of realism, so that's what we're going to try to keep it close to. So let's begin. Before we dive into who's on the roster and stuff, I am downloading a draft class. I will be using real-life players, not any fictional players, so the players you do see in college and high school will be in this series in the future. I'm using this Delta official one. I've used his in the past in other 2Ks. Always does a great job, so I'm just going to stick with it here. I'll be using his 2021 draft class, 2022, 2023, and so forth, and so on. So you should be looking forward to seeing those players in the future years. Now let's get into the roster. As you can see, Drew Holiday sits at the top. We'll be breaking down each individual player. One player you do not see is Zion Williamson. That is because he is hurt. He will start the year off just like in real life, hurt. He has right knee surgery, as you can see, 8 to 10 weeks. So it will be a little bit of time before you can see the superstar. I cannot wait till he joins the court, though. He should be a lot of fun to watch, a lot of fun to play with. But his debut will be delayed a little bit. Number one player out of Duke is our future superstar. This is who the team will be built around. So don't expect to see Zion Williamson go anywhere soon other than to play in a New Orleans Pelicans jersey. Next up, we have Alonzo Ball, Mr. No LA himself, acquired from the Anthony Davis trade. Yes, he didn't have the best stint in LA, but I do not want to write him off as damaged goods yet. I think he has a future. He could be a very solid passer. He's not going to be the solid point scorer that we need, but I think if he can distribute the rock, act like a true point guard, we could get something out of Alonzo Ball this year and in the future years. Next up is a player who'll be scoring a lot of points for us, and that is Drew Holiday, the former UCLA Bruin, at 21.2 points per game last year. He had his breakout year. Yes, he's going on 30, but I don't think that should be a problem. He will be the playmaker. He will be the star of both the offense and the defense. He will be the leader of this team. Yes, he's getting older, but I think we can get some years out of him. Next up is the veteran J.J. Redick out of Duke University. We all know what J.J. Redick's here to do, and that's to shoot threes. Signed to a 2-year, $26.5 million contract. He didn't come cheap. But, you pay for quality. That A+ three-point percentage, he's just going to be here to shoot threes and flat off the scoreboard. Now, here's a player I'm excited about. Brandon Ingram, another former number 2 overall pick and another player in the Anthony Davis trade. This guy can put up points, as he did 18 points per game last year at Los Angeles. I think being out of that climate will suit him well, and I think he could be a solid number 2 option for us, in our starting rotation and so on. Starting at center will be Derek Favors, the old vet. He will be just kind of the mentor guy, signed on a 1-year deal. I don't expect him to be here long, but as a number 3 overall pick, I think he can still offer something. He's a very good finisher. He can get boards for us, mentor these young guys, and help them grow into the stars that they should be. So I think Favors still offers a lot. Now, here's a guy that some people might say carries a lot of baggage with him. Here's Jahlil Okafor. He is still very young, but he's already been on 3 teams. He's kind of bounced around the league. But I'm hoping that the New Orleans will be a new environment for him. I'm hoping he can excel here because I still think he can score. He can, put some points on the board. Yes, he's not the best defender, but he can give those points off our second team that we need. As we start getting to the players that we'll be seeing coming off the bench, here is Josh Hart, another player in that Anthony Davis trade, another young player who has a future in front of him. He's a smart player. He's a good role player. He knows his role. As a former NCAA champion at Villanova, I think he could give you that spark off the bench, give you that nice, fast player on the second team who can get past some of these defenses and score. Next up is the 30-year-old E'Twaun Moore, the player that I look at as a J.J. Redick light. He's built in that same mold. He's just here a 3-point specialist, as it says. Give you some 3-point percentage off the second team. Light it up from the corner, space the floor. Still a veteran. He did put up 11.9 points per game, so he still can score, and I think he will be valuable in that role. Now, here's a guy that's not gotten a lot of attention thanks to Zion Williamson going number 1, but the number 8 overall pick, Jackson Hayes. Very young, as you can see, 19 years old, but he could be the center of the future, so don't sleep on him. You might not see him starting this year. He'll get quality minutes, though, but he could be the center of the future. He could take over for Derek Favors after this year, so watch out for Jackson Hayes. Now, here's a guy that Coach Gentry likes a lot, Niccolò Melli. He will be the starting power forward. The former Italian did a lot of work in the Europe scene over there, so he will be a starting power forward. Stretch 4, watch out for him. I'll take a little in-depth look on is Nickeil Alexander-Walker, the number 17 overall pick. Keep an eye on him. He might not get a lot of minutes this year. He is a playmaker, though, but he is young, and he does have a future on this team, I think. Now, the other ones you might see is Kendrick Williams. These are just kind of players that are on the team. Might see him in the G League, might not, might have to come up if there's an injury. Kendrick Williams is a three-point shooter, 70 overall. He's still 24, so he's still young, so you might see him a little bit. Frank Jackson, another 21-year-old, 70 overall. Might see him in the G League. He's a guard backup, floor spacing slasher. Like I said, don't look to see these guys a lot. They're just kind of on the bench. And then the last guy is Darius Miller. You won't see him at all because you can see he tore his right Achilles. He is out for the season. We'll see if he comes back after this year. Up next, I want to show you guys the draft picks we have in the upcoming class because the Anthony Davis trade did bring in a lot of draft picks. As you can see, we have 5 picks in 2020, 2 first-rounders for the next 2 years, so we definitely have a chance to stockpile our picks. So see a lot of Pelicans in the future. Here is the salary table. A couple players I want you guys to keep an eye on is Derek Favors is a free agent after this year. Brandon Ingram is a free agent after this year, even though Brandon Ingram is restricted, so I think we have a good chance of bringing him back. Jahlil Okafor is a free agent after this year. A couple of young, building block pieces that we might want to bring back this year. But other than that, I think we're good on salary. Here is the coaching staff. Alvin Gentry is our coach. I might want to watch for him. It says 3 years, but we'll see where it goes after this year with Alvin Gentry. Next up, here is our lineup that we'll be rolling with in the Raptors game. As you can see, Drew Holiday starting, J.J. Redick is the shooting guard, Brandon Ingram, the small forward, Niccolò Melli is the starting forward, watch out for him, Derek Favors is the starting center. We have Ball, Okafor, E'Twaun Moore, a couple bench players, Josh Hart, Jackson Hayes, he will get minutes as a rookie. So I think we have a good rotation, but I think it could be changed a lot depending on Alvin Gentry, what he does. Technically, we are rebuilding. The only player I have untouchable is Zion Williamson. He is not going anywhere. Anybody else I haven't added yet. And here is the power rankings. As you can see, NBA has us at 25th. 2K has us at 26th. And Mr. Eric Bonish, sorry if I butchered that, has us at 26th. So thank you guys for watching. Up next, we will play the Toronto Raptors. We will play opening night. Other than that, I'm not sure what we're going to play next. I kind of want to jump around, but I do want to spend some time with the first year. So thank you guys for watching. Next up, you will see us playing the Raptors, and we will have our first gameplay. So don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in that video.